All right, welcome back. You're still watching Evibes, the entertainment show on Signature TV. I have an interesting guest. So we're talking about exploring the craft of stand-up comedy. His name is Eze Chinonso, popularly known as Talking Drum. We'll be having him via Zoom because he's apparently in Port Harcourt. So hello, Talking Drum. Can you hear me? Talking Drum, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Good
All
afternoon. How
right.
are you doing?
I'm very fine. How are you?
I'm fine. We got to know that you just finished the show yesterday in Port Harcourt.
Yes, we thank God it was a
So
wonderful
how was that?
experience. It was a wonderful experience, and it's part of the entertainment stuff to keep growing. So we don't calculate our growth by the moment. We calculate it as the years go by.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can you walk us through your journey? Why did you pick stand-up comedy?
Okay. I actually fell in love with stand-up comedy from my childhood, from the days of Night of a Thousand Laughs. I I love
Okay.
stand-up comedy because I watched most of these guys go up on stage and make people happy. It gave me this kind of a sense of purpose, watching people make other people laugh, make them happy. When we were growing up, my father bought all the volumes of Night of a Thousand Laughs. Then we didn't really need to know who the comedian is, but listening to their content, it made us, we knew comedians by their content. So growing up, I wanted to be someone like that, someone who will put smiles on people's face. And I also noticed that whenever I talk in secondary school, people were always laughing. Even when I'm serious, people laugh. So I said, well, maybe this is what God has called me to do until we're
Okay.
done with school. It became a kind of a thing for me.
All right. Okay. So now talking about stand-up comedy, has it ever happened to you that you attended a show and everything you prepared for did not turn out as planned?
Yes, yes, yes. Because what makes a good show is not necessarily what you plan, it's the delivery and the audience. We have different audience type. So you might prepare a content type for a different audience, and when you
Okay.
get there, the audience is not what you expect. And most times, the emotional content of the atmosphere also affects comedians' delivery. So we've had several instances where we have to, switch or improvise to get
Yeah.
the desired result. So it's just part of the creativity and spontaneity that comes with being a good comedian.
Okay, so can you walk us through some challenges you've actually faced during when you're actually on set or when you're on stage or when you're preparing to go for a show? Walk us through the challenges you've gone through so far.
Well, there are so many challenges, but let me pick out a few. Number one is content streamlining. You get when you
Okay.
get invited to an event. For people like us who do clean and classic comedy, we get invitations to lounges, clubs, and you have to start moving from your area of specialization. And so you now have to come down to that niche, even if it's not what you do on the normal, even if it's not what you are known for. You have to look for a way to come down to that level or go into that circle and deliver more. Another challenge has been the issue of support, funding, and sponsorship in the industry. For you to get sponsorships for events as a comedian, you have to be someone that has the ability to command numbers. And this is something
Yeah.
that has affected a lot of good comedians coming up. And then another thing is actually getting numbers on social media. It's something that
Uh,
affects the psychology of so many. comedians that push them into depression. You know, when you do something creative that considers a lot, that took a lot of energy and time from you, and you are getting very low views on it, it's, you know, it's demoralizing. So going to events, performing is not necessarily the issue. The issue is getting what you have performed to be seen by more people, because the people at the live audience are not the real audience. In this generation, the real audience is on air.
Yeah.
So I think coming
Okay,
on air
so
for so many.
okay,
Go
so
on.
before I continue with my question, we have a video of you where you actually performed on stage. So we'll be reviewing that video now, and after that, you'll be
Okay.
walking us through how stand-up comedians, if they actually follow trend or they follow their own personal crafts. So let's take a
Okay.
look at the
Okay.
video.
Talk. So I went to Duke. I brought my cousin brother. He's a deaf and dumb, sir. I kept him at the door. I told him, Adi bebe. Di bebe. Bebe. He said, bebe. The first person was coming, he said, di bebe, di bebe. The guy said, don't you know that? I said, bebe. She sat down. The next person that was coming was the head. I said, the bebe. And I told him about the head. He said, bebe. The man said, where were you? He said, he still came back to one. He said, that day, sir, everybody sat down well in church. Waiting spoiler. Our man of God was coming to preach. He not no man of God.
All right, back to you talking, Joe. You know,
Yes.
your comedy has to do with the environment. Actually, saw a video of you
Yeah.
where you performed in church and you were talking more about the choir, the mothers in church, and all that. But now I want to ask you, do
Yeah.
stand-up comedians follow trend or their own personal craft?
Okay, I think it's a matter of the individual, I guess. For some person, I myself through rigorous training process.
Okay.
Understand? Yeah, it's not every day you see comedians that are able to, you know, meet an intelligent audience and deliver humor to the level of that audience intellectual capacity. So what I do most times is I study, I read, and I prepare myself for every audience. One thing I always tell most of my mentees is that we take 10 days to prepare for 10 minutes. And it's the amount
Okay.
of preparation you put into the craft determines the quality of the performance you give out. Understand? So for most comedians, they do it as a form of survival. They just do
Okay.
it because they feel they are funny, they can say anything. But for comedians of my own caliber, some of my friends that I know, we go through rigorous training process. We have to sit down, we have to study. There are some words we cannot use in certain places. There are some jokes we can't crack in certain places because of the sensitivity and because of the level of training we have put into this stuff. There are some jokes that have a high level of sensitivity, and even if we want to crack that joke, we'll put it in a language where it will be accepted. So there are so many things involved when it comes to comedy,
Okay.
stand-up comedy. You have to consider elements of humor, the intricacies, laughter, everything. So for I think it's individually based comedian. Me, I like to train myself by watching professional comedians, watching and reading professional books on ebooks, on laughter and stand-up comedy. Actually, a graduate of human anatomy, so I studied neurosciences. I know a little
All right.
about the brain and the pathways of laughter. Most of little just pieced together with a certain amount of discipline will give you that guidance. But some comedians just do it for the culture, they just do it
Yeah.
as, you know, a thing. But if my advice is, if you wish to go global, if you have a global mindset, you have to prepare yourself for the global audience. So that
Okay.
is just part of it.
All right, so let's divert a little bit. We tend to notice that some comedians are beginning to feature in movies, especially African
Yeah.
Magic. And in fact, Basket Mouth is the producer for A Ghetto Love Story, and
It's not good.
he's also the actor. Now, in your
Yeah.
own opinion, would you say that comedians featuring in movies are professionally ready to be actors?
Okay. On that note, I will be very, very clear and very, very straightforward. First and foremost, you can't put
All right, I think we have some network issues and we can't really hear what Talking Drum is about to say because we tend to see so many comedians. In fact, I actually saw a movie yesterday where I saw woman leader feature in a film. I wouldn't say she's not good, or okay, he is not good. No, she is not good. But when you talk about the professionalism in acting, I feel they don't go through the right training. They don't go through the school, the theater arts, and all the rest of them to be able to feature in movies because you tend to see more of the comedy than the real script that was written by the script writer. And but I would also say that Basket Mouth also becoming the producer of the trending movie now, It Gets a Love Story. It's not a bad thing because, of course, he is a comedian and a good one. Okay, back to your Talking Drum.
Yeah, sorry for that glitch. We had
It's
a
fine.
little slight network issue. So I was trying to say that you can't put full stops on comedians. You can't say, this person is a stand-up comedian, so stick to stand-up comedy. You get? As comedians are dynamic and they are very, very
Okay.
spontaneous and talented. You get?
Okay.
Especially when it comes to the likes of Basket Mouth, Bovi, AY. These guys have been able to produce some of the best movies in Nigeria. Inaugurally, if you check the statistics, their movies have
Yeah.
some of the highest turn up. And notice that people who have a high sense of humor usually make the best of movies. If you take it outside the shores of Africa, you see the sense of Kevin Hart. Even in Nigeria, you count that Funke Akindele is one of the best movie producers in Africa. So the thing is, when it comes to movies and comedians featuring movies, I think it is still on the fact that it is individually based. Some comedians are more talented than others who are not even stand-up comedians.
Okay.
So you can't,
All right.
because it's a stand-up comedian, let's not go in movies. Look at the likes of Nas Boy, content creator and a music artist, and you can tell that he's doing well on both sides. He's doing very well on both sides. Same
Yeah.
with Basket Mouth, same with AY.
Yeah.
These guys are good at this thing, so you can't put a full stop on a comedian. So, but I think on a general base, it is actually becoming a trend that all
Okay.
comedians are good actors, which is actually false, which is very, very false. Not all comedians are good actors, but I can tell you that a handful of comedians are good and exceptional actors. Look at what they are doing with my flatmates. Most of the crew
Yeah.
members are stand-up comedians and they are doing wonderfully well. So you can't put a full stop, like I said, on individuals. That you can sing does not mean you can't dance, and that you can dance does not mean you can't be a stand-up comedian.
All
So
right.
these persons have
All right.
multiple talents. So let them express it. But the issue is the idea of thinking that all stand-up comedians are good actors is actually wrong.
Okay. Thank you very much, Talking Drum, for these whole insights and the conversation we just had with you.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for
Enjoy
the
the
privilege.
rest. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, so the show is a wrap for today. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day. I remain your baby girl, Queen Mukunta. Bye.